Hey everybody, this is Jens. I'm the founder of WunderGraph, and today I want to show you a whole new workflow of how you can integrate APIs into applications. And at the same time, I want to announce our private beta. So if you're interested in trying this out, you can go to hub.wundergraph.com. I will also post a link in the description, and then you can sign up to get beta access, and we would love to hear your thoughts and start a discussion on what you think about the concept. So the problem we're solving, or we're trying to solve here, is to make it a lot easier to get an API into your application. So you're probably familiar with the concept of developer portals or like a documentation website where someone tells you or asks you to use their API, but the big question or the big unsolved problem is how to get from that documentation website, from that developer portal to a working application. And we want to make that a lot easier. So I have created a project already. So I've used the Wunder control to init a new project, very similar to how you would do that with NPM. And so the next step is we would want to add our dependencies. So I can type something like add integrations. So here you can see I type Wunder control integrations add, and then we have two predefined APIs. So one is the SpaceX API and the countries API. I can fire off this command, and you see we now added these dependencies to our WunderGraph manifest JSON. So that's very similar to how NPM works. You define your dependencies, and then we manage those dependencies. We add it to your project. So now we have those two APIs added to our workspace. The next step is we need to instantiate them. So I can now go ahead and say I need a new SpaceX instance for the API. So const SpaceX equals integrations WunderGraph. So that's the organization name, WunderGraph. And then we use the SpaceX API. And I want to give it an API namespace because we want to put all the APIs from different vendors. We want to put them into one namespace so that there are no collisions. So that's the SpaceX API. And the second one is the countries API. So again, we say integrations, WunderGraph countries, we give it the namespace countries, and then we pass it to our WunderGraph application. So we say SpaceX here, and we want to have the countries. And now we're essentially done with the instantiation. So we can now run generate. That introspects our APIs, creates our GraphQL schema for our application, and we can now go ahead and create our first operation. So let's call that demo GraphQL. And here we can query, for example, the countries. So some countries. You can see it's prefixed with the namespace. And then we have, for example, code, we have name, and we have capital. Okay. And then we also want to have the dragons. So we go SpaceX dragons. You see it's prefixed with dragons. And then we can say probably, what do we have? We have ID, name, active. Okay, we save that. And now we need to run our WunderGraph dev environment. So we say Wunder control up in the debug mode. So you can actually see all the stuff that's going on. And if you look closely, you can see we have this endpoint created here, API main operations demo. So you can now go ahead and query that with curl HTTP localhost 9991 API main operations demo. And that's not found. because I have a typo. Okay, you see there's a lot of countries. We probably want to type that into JQ. So now it's easier to visualize. You can see here's the 2 dragons, and this is all the, oh my god, so many countries. All the countries. Okay, we need to filter this a bit. So let's add a filter here. And we want to filter on code equals $code. So we define a variable code, that's a string. Save that. You can see that this picks up our configuration. It's already updated. And now we can add this filter here. So we can pass a code as a variable. Code equals DE. That's my home country. And now you can see DE Germany Berlin is the capital. Let's try that with Great Britain. And that's London. Awesome. So you can see what we did here is we instantiate a new project. We add 2 API dependencies. We don't even start thinking about how do I bring this API into my project, because this is what the hub solves for you in combination with the Wunder control. And we also don't have any problems with collisions of type names or field names, because we have the powerful feature of the namespace. And then you pass your 2 APIs to your application, you instantiate your dev environment, and that's essentially what we wanted. And now we can create our operations like demo, and we can curl that endpoint, but this is not really where like, this is not the end of WunderGraph. Like, this is just the start, because now you could use one of our code generators and you can generate TypeScript types or a complete Next.js app, or we recently added an integration with React Native. So you can really use this generated API in various different places. And you're also not limited to just using integrations from the hub, but you could also add your own custom API. So for example, you can introspect an open API, or you can use Apollo Federation, or I could go here and say introspect Postgres. And then I use my PostgreSQL generated API, combine that with some third-party APIs, and that's my project. Because usually what you have is like a central data store, and then you need 2 or 3 other dependencies, like the SpaceX or countries API, or maybe an API for sending email or something. And this is what we try to simplify. So yeah, as I said earlier, if you're interested in joining the beta, then head over to hub.wundergraph.com. There's a small tutorial explaining the flow that I just went through. And yeah, would love to hear your thoughts. You can also join us on Discord, wundergraph.com/Discord, and share your thoughts. And yeah, love to see what you think about this new concept. All right, see you later. Bye.